Hey guys, it's Mrs. Yeagle here, and I want to read to you the last part of reading section 26, which is the second part of chapter 17 of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And I'm going to start on the bottom of 312, but before I read to you, I wanted to recap what just happened because we found out a lot of information. And if you weren't careful, then maybe you missed some of it. So first of all, we found Ginny, and she's not dead, she's just barely alive. And second of all, we found Tom Riddle, who Harry's having a hard time understanding. Why are you here? You went to school 50 years ago, and here he is like a 16-year-old boy. And so I want to clarify that Tom Riddle has used some magic to save part of himself inside the diary that Ginny had previously been writing in. So he used Ginny and sort of controlled her mind, basically, and had Ginny open the Chamber of Secrets and do all of those things that were mysterious, and we're trying to figure them out. So Ginny's the one who has been doing it, and Tom Riddle has been controlling her through the diary. And so now Harry's trying to figure everything out. Why is Tom doing this in the first place? And Tom Riddle has said, because I wanted to get close to you, Harry Potter. So that's where we left off, at the bottom of 312. "Haven't I told you," said Riddle quietly, "that killing mudbloods doesn't matter to me anymore? For many months now, my new target has been you." Harry stared at him. "Imagine how angry I was when the next time my diary was opened, it was Ginny who was writing to me, not you. She saw you with the diary, you see, and panicked. What if you found out how to work it, and I repeated all her secrets to you? What if, even worse, I told you who'd been strangling roosters? So the foolish little brat waited until your dormitory was deserted and stole it back. But I knew what I must do. It was clear to me that you were on the trail of Slytherin's heir. From everything Ginny had told me about you, I knew you would go to any lengths to solve the mystery, particularly if one of your best friends was attacked. And Ginny had told me the whole school was buzzing because you could speak Parseltongue. So I made Ginny write her own farewell on the wall and come down here to wait. She struggled and cried and became very boring. But there isn't much life left in her. She put too much into the diary, into me. Enough to let me leave its pages at last. I have been waiting for you to appear since we arrived here. I knew you'd come. I have many questions for you, Harry Potter." "Like what?" Harry spat, fist still clenched. "Well," said Riddle, smiling pleasantly, "how is it that you, a skinny boy with no extraordinary magical talent, managed to defeat the greatest wizard of all time? How did you escape with nothing but a scar while Lord Voldemort's powers were destroyed?" There was an odd red gleam in his hungry eyes now. "Why do you care how I escaped?" said Harry slowly. "Voldemort was after your time." "Voldemort," said Riddle softly, "is my past, present, and future, Harry Potter." He pulled Harry's wand from his pocket and began to trace it through the air, writing 3 shimmering words: Tom Marvolo Riddle. Then he waved the wand once, and the letters of his name rearranged themselves. "I am Lord Voldemort." "You see," he whispered, "it was a name I had already used at Hogwarts, to my most intimate friends only, of course. You think I was going to use my filthy Muggle father's name forever? I, in whose veins runs the blood of Salazar Slytherin himself through my mother's side? I keep the name of a foul, common Muggle who abandoned me before I was born, just because he found out his wife was a witch? No, Harry, I fashioned myself a new name, a name I knew wizards everywhere would one day fear to speak when I had become the greatest sorcerer in the world." Harry's brain seemed to have jammed. He stared numbly at Riddle, at the orphan boy who had grown up to murder Harry's own parents, and so many others. At last he forced himself to speak. "You are not," he said, his quiet voice full of hatred. "Not what?" snapped Riddle. "Not the greatest sorcerer in the world," said Harry, breathing fast. "Sorry to disappoint you and all that, but the greatest wizard in the world is Albus Dumbledore. Everyone says so. Even when you were strong, you didn't dare try and take over at Hogwarts. Dumbledore saw through you when you were at school, and he still frightens you now, wherever you're hiding these days." The smile had gone from Riddle's face, to be replaced by a very ugly look. All right, that's it. At the end of this section, then, we just found out that Tom Riddle is actually Lord Voldemort, but Lord Voldemort's 16-year-old self. So keep that in mind, and that kind of impacts where we're going with the next half. All right, see you later, guys.